So this is going to be a vlog of a tour around the Bruce Castle in London, which is one of the most haunted places in London, it is told. There is a spooky occurrence that happens every year on the 3rd of November. The ghost of Lady Coleraine, who was held against her will by her cruel husband in the late 1600s, supposedly haunts Bruce Castle. Initially he confined her to the upper part of the house, where the little rooms of the clock tower are and are locked onto the balconies. One November night she succeeded in forcing her escape and threw herself with their child in her arms from the parapet. So every November the 3rd, it is claimed that the apparition of Lady Coleraine reenacts the scene and her cry can be heard. In Bruce Castle Park there is this oak tree, which is an ancient oak tree which dominates the northern side of the park. It's believed to be about 500 years old, and it came runner-up in the Woodland Trust Tree of the Year award. It really is such a beautiful tree, and as you can see that it's kind of grown downwards, so it's kind of needing a bit more support now, but you can tell it's so ancient and it just has a lot of history to it. The oak features in the memories of many who have grown up in Tottenham. So there was 2 green parakeet birds flying around the park, and I had to film it because I just feel like lately they are a sign for me. I just keep seeing parakeets everywhere I go. So we took a walk to the Tottenham Cemetery, which is a large burial ground. So it does have this really long pathway walk that is super eerie, okay? It's very creepy, but it's definitely worth a walk. It's such a huge graveyard as well. There are so many gravestones here. It's just super peaceful as well. So there were so many crows hanging around in flocks around the graves, which was super creepy, but crows do symbolize transformation and change. So the cemetery contains the Commonwealth war graves of 293 service personnel of World War I, most of whom are buried in a war graves plot on the western side of the cemetery. So this cemetery is a short walk away from the Bruce Castle Park. This is the Tottenham Cemetery, so it's super close, and I can only imagine how creepy this would be of a night time in the dark. So when I was looking up the history of this place, it did come up that there was a shooting here a few years ago where someone did actually get murdered in this cemetery. So this was the footage of the cemetery before we started to head back to the castle. We wanted it to get a bit more darker before we started to kind of use our paranormal equipment. So it was almost at 5 o'clock when we started to head back. So as you can see, Bruce Castle is absolutely beautiful. The clock tower is stunning. So it's definitely worth coming here just to look at its beauty. We tried to wait for it to get really dark so that we could try and pick up any kind of activity. Unfortunately, our trip was caught a little short here because of the rain that started to kick in, so I couldn't really use my equipment like my EVP or my EMF detector. But this was basically what we caught before the rain started to come in, which I think is really interesting because it does indicate that there has been some activity here. So at the Holocaust Memorial Garden, there was this wood carving that really reminded me of a witch's pentagram symbol. It has that star symbol. So it was in this area that we used the EMF meter, and we already got a lot of high results running from it. As you can see, the numbers here of the activity and the high energy that is being detected. So the EMF meter measures the changes in electromagnetic fields, and it's believed that ghosts have this energy to be able to create these EMF fields. What was really interesting to me is that I have never had this spike up like this before. So to use it and actually get proper spikes on the device, I was really kind of excited by this. We decided to move closer to the castle now to see if it would still pick up the high amount of energy, and as you can see, the results are still spiking and it does beep. So it did beep quite a few times, and the only way I've ever got this to do this is when I've had it in front of like a microwave. So I just couldn't understand in an open field why there would be so much energy that it's detecting. So for me, this is, you know, very interesting to use and to clarify if there is like a spirit energy around. So although we didn't see the ghost of her, I feel like we did detect some kind of energy, that this place definitely has a spooky, eerie energy to it, and definitely there could be some spirits here. So using my spirit box, this was the voices and the words that we got coming through it.
Is Lucy there? Did your husband hurt you? Anything you'd like to tell us? What will help you to move on, Lucy? Are you happy here? Who's the man?
So the next evening we decided to go to an old manor house in Essex, which was built in the 1500s, and it is believed that apparitions of a woman and a young girl have been spotted throughout the house. So there seems to be some kind of light orb that goes past, and then you will see a dark shadowy figure that appears at the left hand side of the screen, and it walks past the window. And to me, it could be a male or a female. It has a kind of arched back and possibly a hat on their head. But I will slow this down for you. But as you can see, there are no trees there. So it's not a tree. So you can see where the arrow is. It walks past the window from the outside. And I will slow the footage down. So according to legend, the premises are haunted by a young girl often seen walking around in period clothing, but only ever seen by women. Inside the building, there is unexplained doors banging and footsteps walking up and down the creaky old building's floorboards. As you can see how creepy this house is, it's absolutely beautiful, but it's also very eerie. And at night, it's super spooky because with the sky, this image just really gives you chills down your spine. And I couldn't believe that we managed to catch an apparition on camera. So in this next footage, there seems to be a lot of activity coming from this window. So pay close attention. As you can see, there is some kind of light glares staring out of the window, and I'm going to put an arrow to where the activity starts, where someone seems to be walking up a staircase, if there is stairs inside in this section. But as you can see, there is a light figure that goes up the stairs. And then following this, there seems to be two little children, because they seem pretty small, but they literally run up the stairs so fast. There's one, and then the other appears right now. On the left bottom of the window, I could kind of see like a figure there of a little girl, but let me know what you think. So there is definitely spirits here, and I still can't believe I managed to capture this on camera. I'm so stoked, but also super spooked. Clement Sisley and his much younger wife, Anne Argyle, lived in this home with their 4 young children. Even though Clement was of the gentry class, wealthy landowner who lived totally on rental income, he was in serious debt when he died in 1578. Anne sought financial security for her second husband, Augustine Stewart. Ownership of Eastbury remained in the family until 1629. So let me know in the comment section your thoughts and opinions on the footage that I've caught. And don't forget to hit the like button and like it if you think you saw spirits as well. So don't forget to subscribe, because I will post regular videos and I will be posting more paranormal vlogs on here as well. So thank you for watching, and I'm sending you all love and light.